So, I've been sitting on this one for a while, but I was finally inspired to write this video after watching Shayfrilla's Disney ranking. At the beginning, he said this:
if you want to go ahead and write your own video essay on why Dinosaur is an underrated masterpiece, and if you send it to me and I think it's well made enough, I'll go ahead and promote it on my channel's community tab. In fact, this applies to any movie I speak ill of in this video.
And halfway through, he absolutely broke my heart with his take on Bolt. In short, he thought it was lame. And I have not disagreed more with the Shayfrilla's opinion since he ranked Rio 2 above the original in his Blue Sky ranking. So now I'm gonna talk for a while about why Bolt is really good and underrated as hell. Full disclosure, even though I believe this movie to have an objectively great story and characters, nostalgia is a huge driving factor behind my love for this movie. I'll always remember the first time I watched Bolt because it was the first movie to ever make me cry as a kid. I sat awake in bed replaying the movie in my head over and over, and I was obsessed with it for a pretty long time. And until now, I never actually felt the need to defend my view of this movie because I guess I just thought it was so obviously good. So, here we go, I guess. Now, the opening sequence of this movie is absolutely stellar. The very first scene is the day when young Penny adopts young Bolt at the rescue shelter. I really like the decision to start the movie with this and not the action sequence, both because it perfectly establishes Bolt and Penny's relationship and the tone of the movie, but it also doesn't spoil the fact that Bolt is in a TV show. And plus, come on. Come on, just look at him. Look at this. So cute, I'm gonna die. But then we get into the action. Not only is this action sequence really well choreographed and epic with a great score to go along with it, and it really is a freaking awesome score, this sequence also sets up concepts that'll be called back to later in the movie. Now, we all know Chekhov's gun quote: if you show a gun in the first act, it must go off by the third. But like Bolt dangling the car off the bridge, the zoom zoom move, and the super bark, all feel like things that would just happen in this TV show. And once it's revealed that the opening action sequence was all fake, you dismiss everything that just happened as being part of a spectacle and not foreshadowing. So I think the opening is pretty clever, as well as the perfect way to establish the world Bolt thinks he lives in. This is the one thing I felt was missing from Buzz Lightyear's character arc in the first Toy Story, because we never actually got to see any clips from the Lightyear movie his toy was based on. He just showed up and started acting crazy in a room full of normal toys, whereas with Bolt, I felt more like I was discovering the real world along with him. So anyway, we discover that Bolt is living inside of a Truman Show fantasy where he's the unwitting star. And, I'm not gonna get into the plot holes this introduces, cause, there's no fucking way nobody's ever messed up a line. And why does Bolt never think it's weird that they have to wait several days in between adventures? And, where are they even putting the camera so that Bolt never sees it? Just shut up and go along with it, okay? So the network realizes their show is getting too predictable, and, I just wanted to say that I really like this guy.
Forgive me for answering a question with a question, but who are you?
And I'm kind of disappointed we don't see more of him instead of this agent guy. I'm not sure why they even introduced him in the first place. He's less annoying to listen to than the agent guy. He sounds more menacing, almost like the real-life version of the Green Knight. You know what? I'm not helping my own case, am I? The scene where Penny tries and fails to get Bolt to act like a normal dog is honestly pretty heartbreaking. We see the toll that this show has taken on Bolt, to the point where the sound of a plastic cup falling on the floor has him on edge. And we see how much Penny just wishes she could have a normal life with him. I did forget that Miley Cyrus voiced Penny though, so I got a kick out of imagining Hannah Montana on my most recent rewatch.
Big blonde sack of drama say what?
So after she leaves, these two cats show up, and this is where the animals start talking. This interaction Bolt has with the cats made me laugh. The way the cats keep interrupting Bolt in the middle of his hero speech to make him repeat his message is a funny way of mocking the melodramatic hero archetype that Bolt lives and breathes. And to Shafe's point about the movie not being funny, I think the jokes are well written. I think the humor is well integrated, but I guess I can't argue if you don't think it's funny, so whatever. We then go to the next episode of the show where, even though they don't need to, they continue to give us some really cool shots, like this close-up on the Penny. am I just now getting that? Anyway, Penny gets kidnapped, but Bolt escapes from his trailer to go after her. He follows her voice into the recording studio, but falls into a box and gets shipped to New York. And now that Bolt's so far from home, he begins to realize his powers don't work. Like, going back to the humor in this movie, I just think this is a really good setup for dramatic irony and physical comedy that I can't get enough of. The fact that the main character is a dog definitely lends to my enjoyment, but this is funny. Like, come on. After a while running around in a panic, Bolt meets the pigeons, who I think are really funny also. I really like the way their heads are animated like real pigeons. The way they talk is somehow exactly how I would imagine pigeons would talk.
Hey, buddy, relax. Like this. Turn and pull. Turn and pull.
And their deliveries aren't over the top and annoying like the one comedic relief in this movie I don't really like, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The pigeons lead Bolt to resident alley cat Mittens. And I love her introduction just because of the mafia boss vibe of this scene.
Okay, so nice work. Let's find some mustard next time, okay, babe?
Yes, Mittens. Thank you, Mittens.
And also, Susie Essman's delivery gives this character a lot of personality. So then Bolt apprehends Mittens and dangles her over the highway for information on the whereabouts of the green-eyed man. Mittens agrees. That is fucking weird sentence, God. Mittens agrees to take Bolt back to his person, and I very much appreciate how Mittens' plan is obvious to the audience, even though we don't hear her say, I don't want to die, so I'm just gonna play along and take Bolt back to Hollywood. There's also a good joke here where Mittens says she has a map of the entire world, then shows Bolt a takeout menu with a picture of the United States. It's good writing. So Bolt and Mittens get on a U-Haul truck that takes them as far as Ohio, until Bolt jumps out because he thinks styrofoam weakens his powers. Most normal dog in Ohio. And the next scene is just absolute gold. Bolt gets hungry for the first time, and Mittens tries to teach him how to be a cute dog and beg for food. It's just such a delightfully absurd situation that I can't help but laugh at. But also, Mittens teaching Bolt is just a natural way for the two of them to bond, as well as being totally in line with Mittens' character at this point. Bolt is hungry, she's hungry, so she teaches him to get food so she can also get food. Good writing. It's just a shame that this is also where we meet the one part of this movie I can agree is not good, Rhino.
My hero! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh!
He is kind of annoying, but at the same time he does serve a key role in the story, so I can stand his presence. Moving past the train scene where everyone almost dies because of Bolt's recklessness, which by the way is just a really good scene, like there's tension here, you can really feel the stakes, I don't know. Mittens realizes that Bolt is from a TV show and calls him out, and their argument leads to both of them getting captured by animal control. Meanwhile, Penny is back in Hollywood trying to find Bolt, but Mindy from the network tells Penny that she needs to move on for the sakes of everyone working on the show. This movie balances the tone of this part with the rest of the animals' shenanigans so well. The tough situation Penny is put in is depicted with the perfect amount of subtlety, and her mature decision to let Bolt go by stopping the copier is absolutely devastating. So then we go back to Bolt, who seems to be coming to terms with the fact that he's not the hero he thought he was. But after a speech from Rhino, he decides to go rescue Mittens anyway. And when Bolt comes back for her, Mittens begins to realize the value of having someone there for her. This is good writing. The gang escapes the animal shelter in a sequence that once again is just fun to watch. Also, side note, the 3 security guards at this animal shelter have so much personality, even though they didn't have to. I just feel the need to point out these little things to compensate for Shafe's negative review, okay? Anyway, with that, they hit the road again, and we get a great montage of Bolt learning the joys of being a dog. I love this scene a lot. Seeing all these beautiful sights as they travel across the country, and seeing Bolt let go of his old life symbolized by the rain washing away the makeup, and Mittens growing to like Bolt more and more while this beautiful song plays in the background. There is no home like the one you got, cause that home belongs to you. Come on! But sadly, all good things must come to an end. Mittens just wants to settle down and make a living here, but Bolt wants to keep going and find Penny. This causes Mittens to explode on Bolt about holding on to his fantasies of his old life. Now, was this falling out inevitable because we're watching a kid's animated movie? Yes. Was it well integrated into the story? Was it believable? Was the reveal of Mitten's tragic past a genuine emotional punch to the gut? Yes, definitely and absolutely. And the double whammy comes when Bolt realizes that Penny has seemingly moved on, just like Mitten said. But we know that Penny hasn't moved on. She still misses Bolt. The dramatic irony here is absolutely agonizing. Now, before we get to the climax, I should probably go back and address the things Shafe said in his video. Mainly his comment that this was one of
the most generic and forgettable films in the entire Disney catalog.
I really want to stress here that every opinion is valid, but at the same time, what? Do I just not watch enough movies? Because how many movies do you have to watch to consider this? A movie about a delusional action star venturing out of their Truman Show reality on a homeward bound journey to be Wait. No, but for reals, the twist Bolt puts on these admittedly kind of derivative storylines makes it well worth the time. But the climax, the fucking powerhouse of a climax, is what totally seals the deal for me. So Penny's in the middle of filming her first episode without the real Bolt, when the stupid fake Bolt causes a fire to break out in the studio, thus putting Penny in real danger for the first time. Meanwhile, Bolt is walking dejectedly away from the studio when Mittens comes back to knock some sense into him. The very presence of Mittens here after their fallout speaks so strongly to this movie's inspiring theme of finding home. Bolt then rushes back to the studio only to find the entire set going up in flames. It looks like a falling piece of metal is going to block the door, but Rhino holds it up long enough for Bolt to slide under, thus justifying his inclusion, I guess. And Mittens pulls him out in the nick of time, giving her a chance to do something good. This is good writing. And then it finally happens. Bolt and Penny spot each other amid the burning wreckage, and as the score swells in the background and they embrace after being separated and holding out hope against hope for so long, 8-year-old me was fighting back tears. I'll admit that since I knew what was coming on my most recent rewatch, this part didn't get as much of a response out of me, but it's still so strong. But they're not out of the woods yet. Simply ending it with Bolt and Penny reuniting would be lame and cliche. Penny tells Bolt to zoom, a callback to the opening scene, and Bolt leads her toward the exit. But just as they approach a vent, Penny collapses from smoke inhalation, and Bolt tries to get her to follow, and they're so close, but Penny can't go on, and Bolt lies down beside her, and Shay Frillis, how do you not think this movie is emotional? But Bolt, in a final act solidifying himself as a hero, musters the last bit of energy he has to perform one last super bark.
It's the Super Bark!
I think the reason this scene has so much raw power to me is because the peril that they're in right now is just gut-wrenchingly real. Like, the climax of Wreck-It Ralph is really powerful, but that scene is him falling from the sky into a volcano of Coke and Mentos, so there's like an inherent epicness factor already. But this is no sugarcoating. Nobody's epically falling from the sky, there's no giant lava monster, no fox going savage, no cartoonishly evil bad guy with a sword. It's just a girl and her dog dying in a fire. Fuck. Not only is it so dramatically opposed from the beginning of the movie, but from every other Disney climax I've seen. After they get dragged out of the building, Bolt rests on Penny's chest in the ambulance, the asshole manager guy gets booted, and Penny quits the show. Now, the final scene of Bolt is one of the most satisfying resolutions to any movie I've ever seen. After the main characters of the show are replaced, it's hinted that the show totally goes off the rails. Just a final fuck you to the manipulative assholes who tried to make her forget her dog. Mittens and also Rhino, who I'm okay with at this point, have moved in with Penny too. This is just objectively the happiest possible ending. Like, come on. Come on. No, but really, this ending is just a perfect testament to how it doesn't matter what the world thinks of you. Superpowers or not, blood or found family, what matters is finding the people that you love and that love you right back. There is no home like the one you got, 'cause that home belongs to you. And as the camera pans away from a girl and her dog just enjoying each other's company outside, and a reprise of the song from earlier plays, and we see that one last photo of this new family, Bolt solidifies itself as one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. So there, Shafe. I was actually really afraid that this movie wouldn't hold up like it did in my memory, but I was surprised at how much I still enjoyed rewatching it all these years later. Even though there's still a few minor things I would fix, this is still a 10 out of 10 for me. The script is tight, the characters are fun, and the emotional core is so solid. And aside from the writing, everything else about the movie is just like really good. The animation holds up fairly well today, with dramatic lighting choices and adorable animal designs drawing you in. There's some good visual gags sprinkled throughout, the other jokes still made me smile. I find the voice acting choices to be well suited. Yes, even John Travolta, like obviously he wasn't the best choice, but he's not that bad. And don't even get me started on the music. That was one part of the movie that I didn't remember was so fucking good. Down, 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 da 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 da, bow bow bow, da 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 da, bow bow bow. I feel like I could make an entire video breaking down why this movie's score complements everything in this movie so fucking well. And not only that, but the two songs composed for this movie, I Thought I Lost You and Barking at the Moon, are just perfect for the movie and also straight up bangers. The latter one making me want to cry every single time I listen to it. I am never gonna forget this movie as long as I live. I'm not exaggerating when I say that this movie changed my life. It legitimately altered my perspective on what movies could make you feel. And for that, I'll defend this movie to the ends of the earth. So I think I've made my point, but just to pwn you into the ground even harder, Shafe, I'm going round 2 on your ass. Play the beat. Hey, Shafe Productions. I got a problem with you. Your opinions are different from mine, and that's not okay. Now get ready for a watermark, cause I stole this beat. Hey, yeah, you walk around these parts like you're the king, joking around and making vids, but guess what? You think that you can get away with saying anything? Well, I got news for you, so listen up. No one cares who your funding is provided by. No one cares about that big stupid crowd. We got beef, no we don't see eye to eye, and my reaction to you is not funny, didn't laugh. Man, I thought Cars 2 was bad till I saw your freaking channel. Like Will Smith and that shark bitch, we about to do battle. Got a head bigger than Megamind, you better check your ego. Guess you can't count on anyone,
especially your heroes.
You got a lot of shit twisted. Thinking Bolt and Rio aren't bangers, man, what is this? You hide behind a stolen avatar, can't even show your face. Did I used to respect you? Guess that was my mistake. Yeah, this track was going to be longer, but I couldn't think of any more verses. This is all in good fun, by the way, in case that wasn't clear. Shaferless Productions is a content creator who I very much respect and enjoy. Obviously, I do not care. If you disagree with me, you can think whatever you want. This is just my opinion. But thank you, Shafe, for giving me the inspiration to finally talk about this masterpiece. So, if you enjoyed this unironic video, be sure to do all the stuff that makes YouTube show this to more people, like leaving a like or a comment telling me what you think. Chances are I'm gonna gamble my monetization by using some of the songs from this movie in this video, so consider supporting me on Patreon. You'll get exclusive updates, shoutouts, and early access to future unironic content, so do it. And if you don't, of course, I will kidnap your dog and throw him into a fire. See ya.